dreams come alive, where spirits rise.
That was 50 points off the track, baby.
In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. Through city streets and temples high, find your story beneath the sky. Waves crash, walking our stands, harmony flows to the best of lands. In the neon glow, where is bent, the culture rich, where resistance, even more no grace. We'll dance the night with every star, a guiding light. In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. The cherry lanes and
Well, I just sort of got myself in a
find your
valve already.
magic in the moonlit nights.
Alrighty. Well, today we're gonna get into something. I've actually kind of shifted to utilizing a thing. I've decided I've added all of my socials down on the screen now. But we've got some things to share with you guys, and something I really wanna hound upon. I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way. Maybe you might, but oops, sorry, I accessed the wrong app. Alright. Today's gonna be an interesting one. You guys have probably see the title. And I really wanted to share with you guys today that what we've got, for taking 29 hours, I won't do that today. I'll do that next Thursday. I'll do something there, but Surrey to Kamloops, Surrey to Surrey, no, I wanted the cargo market. Do you got anything in Vancouver as well? Stop it. Stop a game. Abbotsford. We got a lot of going. We got Vancouver going to Surrey, but I wanted to try to see if we got anything. That one's the going back to Camblogs, back that way, and I don't want to go back that way. Um, but I don't want to take a long trip either. That's actually um we'll set this one. All right. Um, thanks, Days 19. Thanks, Days 5984 for joining, and also thanks Wesley for joining as well. One of the things that I wanted to really iterate today, and actually the big thing um, is that there's actually a couple of things that I actually wanting to. Mostly it's going to be political, but there's actually some things that aren't going to be taking as political as a political thing. Um, of course, a lot of you are going to probably take it in a way that yes, that it might not be what you think and what you want it to hear, or um, thank you guys for all joining the stream, guys. Remember, if you guys are going to enjoy today's episode, remember I do drive American truck, but I don't just drive American truck. I also drive Euro truck, and we've got some news about Euro truck. Today they released the gameplay of the Nordic Horizon, so it is one of those things that are coming out to the next DLC for Euro Truck. It's not on the list, but I've been enjoying these trucking simulators. It actually is one of those things where, if you guys go look at, I have a whole entire playlist here on YouTube that actually brings all of these playlists together and brings it into a thing where I talk a lot about politics here, and this is one of those things where I talk politics, but I don't talk it in the sense of I talk about it in my personal take on things, and it's just my personal opinions and things. This isn't like coming from people, but it's coming from a lot of people around the internet. It comes across through the Midas Touch Network and subsequent people who are part of that. It comes through David Packman, the Ring of Fire, and for me, I would not be standing on that track. Like if it were me, but most of the stuff, that's where I listen to a lot of my news. Now, this doesn't mean This doesn't mean that I um, get my news just from there. I also get my news from Newsbreak and that on my applications that I use. Nugget is a great way to check and hear what's been going on. I actually would prefer ground news probably over Newsbreak, to be honest. But with one of the things that I wanted to really iterate within talking about the issue that went on over the course of this last week. For those of you, I have talked about it briefly yesterday. I don't like talking about people like this, but I wanted to come in and share that Charlie Kirk's basically passed away, was shot over the last week. Now, of course, that's something that it's sad to see people like that. But it's also one of those things that I don't like it when people rush to conclusions, and they rush to justify, and they rush until they don't know. They rush until they to these conclusions and don't have the sense of when they make that decision and they rush to harp on a identity, to harp on black people, to harp on trans people, or to harp on anybody that does not that they want to harp because they say, oh, it's the left's fault, it's the left's problem that all of this violence is happening. It's like, no, it's like and it's one of those things where, thanks Wesley for joining the TikTok live thing. Thank you. It's one of those things where when I look at these people that they jump to conclusions, they blame that it's trans people, they blame they go out and rush to and they rush and they blame to the point of that, I wanted to know. I said, I want to know who it is, but I want to know from legitimate reason, not from some right-wing pundit that basically goes out and creates conspiracies around things, and then they don't know and that's why when I look at things, it's like, this is why I don't. Okay, because I need to get over. This is why I don't take in to where I don't like to rush to judge people. It's like we judge people and we rush to judge who it is, and then when we've come to find out, the killer basically was a white man, Christian, rush, and they rushed to do it, and then they push the content out there saying that it's trans people, saying that it's this, saying that it's that, and then when they come to find out, they tone it back. They tone down the rhetoric, and it's like I am somebody that looks at this and I say, okay, what's going on? Who did this? It's like if you look at like a lot of crime shows, and I watch a lot of that stuff, and I watch a lot because I've watched CSI, I've watched NCIS, I've watched a lot enough, and Criminal Minds and things like that. I've watched a lot through my life, and one of the things that when I watch, it's like they a lot of times you gotta make, when you make those decisions, you can't just, you have to ask who, you have to ask why, but you can't just jump directly into conclusions and just say this is the person, this is this, and you persecute them without knowing the facts. You have to know the facts and know the evidence and everything before you make those decisions and conclusions on it. It's like you cannot go out and say that the shooter is trans when you don't have the identity. You rush to jump to conclusions when the shooter is when the shooter isn't a black person, or when you rush to conclusions and then you come to find out that you want to blame somebody and then blame the left for all this nonsense, when in reality it's like, I don't want to create violence. I want the rhetoric. I don't go out and push rhetoric and blame people for I don't go out there and blame people for this instance. I don't go out and blame people because it's the wrong thing for me to do. You know, I don't rush and judge people based on, oh, this time, okay, well, when I don't have the facts. You cannot judge righteously when you don't have the facts, when you don't have the truth right there in front of you. And you have to realize that if you don't know anything, it's best not to say anything. If you don't know more than what they tell you, don't rush to say that it's a black person, or rush to say that it's a trans person, rush to say it's a left-leaning person, and then now they're with this thing. Now it's like, it's really ridiculous that we're seeing them wanting to honor Charlie Kirk and honor him, and absolutely honor him to the point of putting his face up in the Washington, making it the rotunda. They're basically praising somebody when they don't, when they go out and complain that they want to praise him, but then they don't want to praise Melissa Hortman and that thing. They don't want to give them the statue. They don't want to give them the thing because they don't care. They want to waste money. They want to take your position on things and jump. I have to make a wide turn, buddy. And so this is one of those things where I don't like it when I see people going out and rushing to judgment and rush. It's one of those things that you're supposed to judge, but judge it righteously and judge based on facts rather than based on hypotheticals. You know? I use it this way. No, I know it's not a lot, but I'm trying to stay as much of as I can into Canada right now. We have a couple of places. So we're gonna go this way. Oh. Can I not go that way? No. So I will go out. I am actually really debating whether or not I should have gone with the 72 sleeper and maybe go back to the 51 sleeper and take that back and just allow for this to be actually let's go to cargo market and see if we got anything here. We got Ope to Surrey, BC for used packaging. I'm still gonna go rest though, but I wanted to see if there is anything right now. Yakima, Washington. Yeah, okay. It's all going to Seattle. Mostly got one going back to Surrey. Take our rest here. Thanks, Mohammed, for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. Alright, let's see if we got any new cargo here. Just by shifting. We got Lowut, BC, British Columbia. Let's set our GPS that way. So I am one of those people that I don't like to. I ran through a stop sign. uh. And I just don't, it's like, people need to stop really, making it all about you and making it feel like, oh, if oh, this person's a bad person, but yet, when they won't do anything. I guarantee you, if MAGA was sitting here and Biden died, they wouldn't do a resolution. They wouldn't put Biden in any way, shape, or form. They wouldn't help him. They probably wouldn't even bat an eye or make that decision when he's gone. Or anybody who's on the left, the Republican doesn't care. They don't care as long as it benefits them. And when it benefits them, that's their... They make that decision, and it's like... I am tired of these people saying that this is a problem, when it's a problem for me when I see it coming from the right, or coming in and them basically saying, hey, it doesn't matter if it's... Yeah, I'm just gonna do it that way. It doesn't matter to me if somebody who died and they were actually a congressperson, they were actually a president. They deserve the issue of having if they're a president, they deserve having a statue. Okay? They deserve having those things. But when it comes to Charlie Kirk doesn't need a statue. Charlie Kirk doesn't need... Oh! Phooey! Phooey! Ugh. So yeah, and they're gonna look at it and they're gonna use... I'm pretty sure they're gonna come up with a plan on this. On this, they go out there and blame and put, and basically they're not going to do it if somebody's a Democrat. Let's just for a moment, if somebody on the... Let's just for a moment... Let's just for a moment that a Democrat who was somebody that was very predominant, who was very well known in the industry of political content. Let's say we put a statue up for Rachel Maddow. Let's say that we put up a ceremony in the White House for Rachel Maddow. The right would be all up in arms and complaining about it, but yet then they would go back and there'd be hypocrisy because they would rather you can go ahead of me. They would rather go frustrated or angry. It's like, what? Like, I would go out there and I would actually, if I was like on Fox News or something, and I would basically, you know, I'd go out there and respond, and I would say, look, okay, Now, you said you wanted to give Charlie Kirk these things. How about we give Rachel Maddow? How about we put how about if Rachel Maddow dies? How about we do the same thing for Rachel Maddow, for the same person that and as somebody like that? What would you do? Would you absolutely support it because it's an MSNBC host? It's somebody who is very predominant. And how about Stephen Colbert and these people that go against Trump? How would you feel if a Democrat did the same thing? You'd be frustrated. You'd probably be angry, and it's like, and you'd be frustrated. You'd be angry because the left is doing something that you did, and yet it's only right for me to do it, but not for them to do it. It's only right for the Republican to do it. But then when a Democrat does something similar, it's not right for them. The problem I have with all of this is that it's nowhere near any issue. It's nowhere near the issue that it comes to us. We're gonna call it out. I'm gonna call it out. I'm going to be somebody that's gonna call out the problem with this and say this is not right. A Democrat. Oh. A Democrat, nor I'm gonna call it out when it's a Democrat does this. I'll call it out when a Republican does this. It doesn't matter. I'm not politically. I don't usually politically left or right completely. I am somebody that is a moderate Democrat with some of the Republican held views on some things. And I'm telling you, I only have a couple of things, 2 or 3 things that are relatively there. It's like the thing that I will always say is like I support abortion when it comes to basically making sure that if a Republican that a Republican can receive this care when it's absolutely needed, when it's absolutely done. But when you take away abortion because you're a left-leaning when you're left-leaning or right-leaning, it's like when you look at Roe v. Wade, it's like I support Roe v. Wade. I am somebody that, it doesn't matter if you go and get the care. There's a lot of people who could not get the care because of Roe v. Wade's overturning. That basically was mostly legal in the eyes of the law, but they didn't because it was the fear of them not being able to do it because they didn't want to get into trouble by the law. And yet that's why I am somebody that supports abortion in that context, because you have to really think about the issue with this. First off, an abortion is not right. Of course it's not. But you also have to realize that there are times where people do absolutely need to have that abortion, but they can't get it because of the fear of things. And yes, there are going to be times where abortion is going to be used illegally, where abortion is going to happen because somebody just chooses to go and get an abortion. It's the same thing when it may be going against God's law if somebody's gay or trans or anything on that nature for your belief or somebody else's belief or whatnot. But it's your choice. It's your choice to not go through with that. It's your choice not to. But it's at the same time you gotta teach your kids and you gotta learn to grow with that. and you gotta learn to teach them instead of teaching them about hate. Teach them about love and compassion for anybody. It's like, I don't care if you're a like I don't care if you're a left-leaning politician or a right-leaning politician. I don't care. We have to treat everybody with kindness. We have to treat Charlie Kirk, and we have to treat people that, yes, we may not like their teachings, we may not like their beliefs. You know, look, I don't like Gavin Newsom on his anti-trans rhetoric and stuff, but that doesn't mean that he's not standing up against Trump. That doesn't mean that I support him in that regards. There are times where we can work together, where we can strive. We may have different ideals, we may have different beliefs and different things, but we got to work together and protect children. And in order to protect children, protecting children is not going by removing them access, is not protecting children. Children aren't going to be protected. You're basically censoring the adults because because parents aren't doing what the child is. And the Online Safety Acts and these things do not they basically are coming in to censor the internet, to basically say that, you know, if anything goes wrong or anything that's bad, it's like, you go look at the hub site. You know, you go look at the hub site. It's like, I can't access it without accessing a VPN, and I live in a state that hasn't banned the content. Okay? I live in a state that hasn't banned the content, but because my internet gets routed into a red state rather than getting routed into a blue state, anything that red state basically because the red state basically under the law, under a red state, it's basically saying that basically, like, they're wanting to censor people, and then it's like, but yet I went in, and not only through taking away the hub site, I still have access to it without having to be online or have an account. And I can still have access to the adult content, because guess what? It doesn't. They do it to prevent kids from accessing it. They're not preventing kids from accessing that content. All they're doing is just shifting it to somebody else, and shifting it away to these platforms. They don't need to, like, they shift it away to say that, look, a child may have access to this content, but we're gonna go to our bank real quick. We're gonna pay that off. We're gonna pay that one off. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, we may have these things where you shift it, and you basically, all you're doing is not creating safety. You're just making it a lot harder. You're making it worse for adults to access this content, because they're gonna go find ways outside of this, and then you're gonna look at it and just be like, we're seeing a lot of uptick in crime in a lot of places. A lot of places are getting upticks in crime. It doesn't matter what state you live in. It doesn't matter. It's like out in Utah. It's like when they talked about, that Governor Cox was praying that it wouldn't be somebody from in the state of Utah, when for 38 straight hours he was saying, oh, this shouldn't be in my state. He was gonna basically, this doesn't happen in my state. That's bull. It happened in your state. It doesn't matter if it's somebody from out of state, or somebody, or an immigrant, or whatever. It happened in your state. You didn't prevent it. You didn't prevent this from happening. You allowed it to happen, and you allowed it to go through. It doesn't matter if it was Doesn't matter who it is. You push the point of these things that if you look at it, freaking trailer damage. You know, you look at the issue going on with it. It's like you didn't protect a child. You didn't. Why is there a guy standing in the middle of the road? What the fruit? What the fruit? And it doesn't matter the situation. You know, it doesn't matter if you would expect that it doesn't happen in your state, but it does. It happens. The state of Utah has crime, and it has crime, but you don't suspect that it is crime. That you have crime, because most of the time it's the vast majority of people. You want to make it proper and make it right, but it happens. Utah has these crimes. States of you want to come out there and put blame on somebody, and you want to blame the left. Yeah, I know we're gonna have a vehicle crash, but the reason why I'm taking these small little trips is because I am today not going to try to be on for long. Because I wanted to just travel in Canada a little bit today. And Canada is one of those things where I love Canada. I actually, you know, it's one of those things where I want to visit Canada. I want to actually just travel to Canada and travel and just visit the country itself. Minus going into one place in Canada that I will not go in and support. I won't go to Edmonton. You know, I'm not gonna be out there because they're also following the same playbook here in America that they're following there. Now I know it's not a lot, but for what little, I'm not gonna pay off the thing. Pay it off right at this moment. If we go to our services, we go to our bank. It's 615. It would be 3788. It would be 5788 if we paid this off. But we'll be in debt. You know what? I'll just pay it off. Um, no, we're in Little Root. I am going to check the cargo market. Oh, okay, so I haven't been to those. So I'm there, but then some lighter news and good news, guys. Um, we've got some good things going on. Um, Nintendo Switch 2, Virtual Boy, um, is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. I actually really like the aesthetic that they're doing. It's only for American and Canadian users, though, apparently. Which for the non-cardboard box on it. Now we are going. Wow, we've got that there. Definitely not going to have a business up here in in Lilyhoot. I always when I look at business truck stops, I want to make sure that when we do oh, what the hold the horses, guys. Did we just I'm gonna check a thing. I know. Um fruit. Okay. Really? I cannot believe that my game crashed. And we're gonna have to load. Because I look at companies that, as long as they're still going to use diversity, as long as they're still a diversity, equity, and inclusion supporter, I'm going to tell you those are the companies that I'm still going to support. That's why I'm a big advocate of companies like that. And I'm not. And I'll tell you, any company that removes it or quietly removes it, and you're a game company or you are a company that's not a necessity for me, I am somebody that will sit here and get another sink and crash offense because of this stupid vehicle. Like I have to make these white turns up these things, and it's like this is why I'm not gonna put a business up here, but I will. I might if I have run out of space, but it'll be the last place I put anything. Yep, we're gonna have trailer damage again. Because, you know, you come up here to Canada, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm pretty sure if they ever do come to Canada, I am pretty sure that they're going to, of course, another crashing offense because of how much tight this turn is. I'm pretty sure. Um, yep, okay. I hate driving in Canada now. I don't think I will come to load, say, auto saves. Yes. Load the most recent autosave, because I'm pretty sure it's going to save for what we've picked up. Hopefully. Right now we only have a 3% trailer. I might see if I can get a smaller trailer. Yeah, coming out here to Canada, like this little area is like a little bit of a challenge driving an American truck in Canada. You know, I am somebody that loves to drive into places. Now, of course, if you guys didn't know, my mom was here talking a little bit. She had to go do something, so I try not to put people out like that. I don't put my family into my videos as much because but my mom's it's kind of hard when you have a thing where your bed's sitting over there. I don't want my bed being seen, so the best thing I can do is have it face my back thing. I could switch weight and move my thing over to this corner over here, but then I wouldn't have but then I would have to contend with my pride flag sitting up there. I'd have to move my pride flag over here. I would have to move it and move my trans flag over here, which I don't want to do. Yeah, trying to get up and around this bend, I'm hopefully that if promods, if this is actually really what Canada is here, I just hope that maybe they might have like some, like, yep, 3 crashes in one day. Ugh. Trying to drive in this tiny little bend up in Canada. Ugh. I might go take this and put it back to the 51 sleeper because I think that's just a lot better. I might keep the 71 sleeper here though as a extra thing. As something where I might just do it where, you know, I'm kind of. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. I gotta bring my Ugh. See, this is why I want to get rid of Windows. Stupid Windows backup. They want me to have Windows backup and to back up to the cloud, and I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to back up my stuff to the cloud. I don't want to. This is why I really hate Windows. Is like, I hate Windows when they want to tell me things when I don't want to do it. Like, I haven't updated bazzite for a week. I usually go about once a week. I usually will take a week and I'll update bazzite on updating. And make sure that I get updates, but I'm not even gonna get gas here because it's so. But I wonder, how is it gonna be driving in the Badlands though? Because that part of that place is gonna be interesting. Buddy! Buddy! No! Oh. Snappity snap, snap, snap. Hi, David. Thanks for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. Yep. I hate driving up here. It's like we're gonna hopefully we won't have any. Maximum is 60 kilometers or 37 miles per hour, or thereabouts. But it's one of those things where, you know, I just really disdain for a lot of people these days, and I like, you know, just because you're part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints doesn't make you a good person. Doesn't make you a just because you're part of a church doesn't make you a good person. Doesn't make you a person that you're gonna go to heaven, automatically go to heaven. It doesn't make you, because you go to church, doesn't make you automatically available to. It doesn't make you automatically go to heaven. It's one of those things where you aren't going to be going to heaven just by sheerly thinking that you will. You will be able to probably get into heaven, but you might not. Okay. Allow for me to. Much better. I think I should have probably done that. That would have made so much better. But it's like, when I look at things going across the news, and the news just rushing to blame somebody, blame, it's no way, shape, or form any good. But I'm gonna get off of this topic a little bit. I wanna, like, for anybody, I was talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 and their thing. I didn't really watch the direct. Didn't watch it. I wasn't gonna watch it because I don't own a Switch 2 and I don't own a Switch 2 and I don't have the money to buy things right now. But one of the things that I did, and I just was like, oh, I forgot that was today. I was gonna watch it. Actually, I was mostly going to watch it, and then I ended up forgetting, and I was just like, you know what? Somebody else is gonna talk about it and things. Here's the thing that I wanted to really get into is, like, I actually like the Fire Emblems coming with another game. I actually, my favorite one's Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, the Nintendo GameCube edition of that game. That's beautiful, beautiful. But one of the things that I also like that they brought in today that really shocked me is, like, I thought that they would be getting rid of the Virtual Boy. They wouldn't they would never touch that thing again. Okay, I'm going to use this now to really make sure that we can get around places and around things. Well, look at that. Look at that mess. That car needs to back up. But I actually really like the Nintendo Switch 2. I think I'm starting to like it a little bit more. It might not be something, like I said, I wasn't gonna buy it, but I might now more than ever. And if I do buy the Switch 2, I am basically going to give it to. If I buy the Switch 2, I'm gonna give the Switch. Not gonna get any games for him because all the games I'm gonna still keep because they'll work on the Switch 2. But then again, I might not because there are some games that aren't going to work on the Switch 2. And I might just have the Switch and the Switch 2. I might go out and I want to go out and buy the Switch Lite per se. Sell my get rid of the Switch and go out to buy the Switch Lite in pink. in response, and then get the Switch 2 as well. Because that's just one of those things where I want to be able to own a piece of history. I want to actually just own a light. I actually might just keep the Switch. I want to own a light Switch. I want to own a just to have a light, just to have that version of the light. Like the PlayStation, I'm not gonna get, but having a light Switch and having a Switch that I can just have that, you know, I was thinking about maybe I might just get rid of it, but then again, it's one of those things that's very, very decisive on whether if I do or not. And to be honest, I don't have the money. I don't have any funds right now to buy the Switch 2. I have $0. The only money that I have right now is $32 to my name, and that's all Steam money. It's all Steam. Waiting for the Nordic Horizons DLC to come out. Because I'm more of a fan of Euro Truck than American Truck, but I still play American Truck because it's still a great game. They're both great. And I love the ability to play these different games and the ability to enjoy the scenic scenery. Talking to you guys, mostly it's like, look, it's like I have American Truck and Euro Truck playlists, live playlists. These are talking head playlists. So if you don't wanna see the scenery, but you just want to see me talk about things, then this is where you can put the videos in the background and stuff, and just go around on it. But I am somebody that, that I love just the technology that we have today and the technology that we do, but I don't like everything about the technology that we have. I don't like AI. AI is the only one I don't like, and they're gonna try to put guardrails and safety on AI, but they're not going to be able to. It's just gonna be cat and mouse pretty much, where they're gonna put guardrails on it, but then AI is just there's gonna be somebody out there that's gonna find a way to jailbreak these AI. AI is just gonna be there. AI is gonna use for bad and good things, but like I said, it's one of those things where, it's no way, shape, or form any great or anything of that matter for it, and the technology that we have with just the sheer amount of these video games, there's NVIDIA RTX Remix. They're doing a thing for RTX stuff. They're doing things on that and bringing older games. They're bringing older games to life with newer things to improve it. It's like I commend NVIDIA for doing it, but at the same time, I don't support NVIDIA right now. I don't support Intel either, because Intel kind of burned people in the 13th and 14th gen. I'm somebody that's not going to buy an Intel CPU or anything Intel unless I absolutely have to, because of motherboard compatibility or because of Wi-Fi or whatever Intel has cooked up for part of it. I'm not going to go out and buy an Intel computer because it's under the United States government. It's one of those things where, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. I don't want a company being owned by the government, to be honest. Like, the only time that it should be used is to help benefit people, to benefit them rather than taking the narrative or taking control of something that's not really going to benefit. Because, you know, when it comes to starving children should become first. Intel had to be bailed out though, but they had to be taken 10% of it, and it's like no. But that wasn't what got me into not wanting to buy any Intel computers. It wasn't because of the government not putting that 10% in there. It just adds to that fuel of me not wanting to buy them. But because of 13th and 14th gen having so many issues, and that's why they had to bail them out, was because of that. Intel really should have basically said, hey, we're going to basically, I'm telling you, we would rather you buy our older CPUs, we'd rather you buy your older things and stuff like that. You know, Intel's just kind of not like like I'm with Barnacules on this one. If you're going to be somebody that goes out and buys an Intel and then you end up getting burned by them because your CPU's dying and then they can't refund you the warranty because of this, and then it's like you know, I am somebody that does not Oh, I could be going a lot faster. How far do we got left? 58 minutes. It remains an hour. I don't mind the brake check thing. I did, I hopefully... Yeah, you weren't moving! Ugh. Hate drivers. But yeah, no, I think that it's just fantastic that I am on AMD, fantastic that I'm using bazzite, and fantastic that I love these content. I love the other thing that I love is I also love the fact that I can utilize AMD, that I have, like, I want to really preface that I only have an NVIDIA graphics card, an NVIDIA GPU, on my laptop. Of course, I really should have thought about maybe thinking about maybe changing that computer up a little bit. I should have maybe waited a little bit longer and said, hey, is there enough money that I could have saved to maybe go for another couple of months to buy a computer that actually... but I needed a computer then, I needed a laptop, and I really should have thought about getting a better... Yeah, this guy... Because I'm gonna have to get up off here. Wow. Ugh. Yeah, I'm wondering why the traffic is sending me this way. I think I like it. 50. Finished 50 deliveries. 50 deliveries, and I've only have one full on the bank. That's the one that we have left. Alright. Well, what time is it? It is 5:35. Um, I have to get myself around that. Let's go get ourselves into a resting, getting some rest. We've traveled. We've got a little. We've done like 3 jobs today, 3 deliveries today at least. If not, it at least 2 to 3 jobs today. I could have gone forward and gone to thing, but we need to go get rest. I desperately do. Now there's a couple other things that I wanted to get into that I didn't get into today. Because I wanted to the big one was talking about Charlie Kirk and talking about him, that, you know, that don't rush to conclusions, guys. Like, this is, like, there's a lot of headlines out there that rushed, that pushed these things out there. They wanted to really, and they, hopefully that the Washington Journal, okay. What I will do is I will take that L. What I'm going to do is I'll save this because I can reload, because there's like a crash up here that I can't get through and I need to get through. So 9/12/2025. But the one thing I do is we're kind of getting ourselves out this door. Is that if you pay attention to Donald Trump, if you paid attention to Donald Trump today, yeah, I don't mind taking the vehicle crash thing. Just so that I can. And I might drop the realistic traffic thing, because I don't know if that's actually something. Okay. Alright. Alright, we saved. Let me save the game again up here, because. Not saving, we're gonna save it over this again, because for what it's worth. But guys, I'm going to. Tell you guys, I'm going to get off. If you guys want to see more content from me, make sure you guys are followed. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Here on the Trovo side, remember, subscribing is not free on Trovo. But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys hit that subscribe. I'm here because it is free to subscribe. And if you guys enjoyed this content, remember to hit that share this out with your friends. Come join the live. The more people that come to join the live, the more opportunity that you guys can come to support me. And continuing to grow, and as we grow and get more things, that'll be fantastic. But if you guys want to see content through anywhere throughout this stuff tonight, we are going to be playing some Call of Duty Zombies for Black Ops 6 and some Save the World. I'm going to check Save the World stuff at 6. I mean at 7. Maybe at 8 o'clock before I get on. If nothing else, we will check to see how things go. And see if anything gets posted in there. And anything updated for it, for free V-Bucks. I was going to do that today, and then I ended up not doing it because I don't have 94 on my thing, so I couldn't get the extra 40 because I need to start working on getting that, getting myself up there to fit the 94 to make sure that we can start getting further and better in this thing. But for my power level. But anyway, so we do play a lot of Fortnite and Call of Duty at night. Fortnite is pretty much Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. Fully Save the World Thursday, Friday. No, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for Save the World only. And we're just doing it for the free V-Bucks. So if there's like a mission that I don't need to do tonight, if there's one mission that I don't need to do, then I'm not going to go and do it. I'll just go and play. If there's 0 V-Bucks, then I will go and play tomorrow. If there is, then tomorrow I will play that again. I'll play tomorrow and do that because I will have some time to do that tomorrow. If there are free V-Bucks tomorrow, great. We'll do that. And then we play Call of Duty Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday we do Call of Duty. Right now it's Black Ops 6 Zombies on Saturday, on Fridays and Mondays, and multiplayer on Saturdays and Sundays. But right now we're doing some older Call of Duties, going back and doing that. I might take one of those days to go back and play an older Zombies. Take one of those things, we'll go back and play some older Zombies. I might do that. I might do that if Barnacles is not live on Saturday. I will probably go play some Vanguard Zombies, see if it's any good or whatnot. Because Saturday's Vanguard, and then Sunday is going to, I believe it's Black Ops 3, but I might be wrong on what it is. I just know that it's Vanguard tomorrow night. Tonight, we're playing that. So if you guys are interested in my American truck stuff, it's Thursday and Friday and sometimes Saturday. And then Parkitect, if you want to see that, it's sometimes Saturday. Saturday, it's going to be a rare on Saturday though. And then Monday, then Sunday and Monday for Parkitect, and then Tuesday and Wednesday for that. When we get the Nordic Horizons DLC, that is when I'm going to purchase the Nordic Horizons DLC right then and there. And we're going to take that for the whole week. So anyway, so if you want to see any of that, we will catch you guys later.